Okay, so the review for Module 2, here we go. So remember that times is multiplication, so I have 5 times. Now normally we don't need to write that dot, but I'm just doing it. Then we have the word sum, so I have something that's going to go in parentheses of a number, and then we have the word and. 12 is equal to 27. This next one, the length of a piece of paper, so length is 3.5 inches greater than its width. So greater than is going to be addition. The perimeter of the paper, so P equals 51. Remember that the formula for perimeter is 2L plus 2W. So I'm going to replace P with 51. 2 times the quantity, W plus 3.5 plus 2W. Now, you're not solving it, that you were just writing down what the equation would be. The perimeter of figure 1, so I have figure 1, is equal to 4 times a number, K, minus 3. The perimeter of figure 2 is equal to 2 times the same number plus 5. And they're equal to each other. They're the same. So 4K minus 3 equals 2K plus 5. On this next one, this is multiplication. So I say negative 3 times the sum of a number x and 2 is 22. Over here, 9 times a number x minus, could I have said the difference of? Yes, and I probably should have, but I didn't. Is 25 times a number x less than 5. Okay, so this next one, it says a park has a ginkgo tree, a dogwood tree, 2 blue spruce trees. The blue spruce trees are 8 years old. The ginkgo tree is 2 years less than 3 times the age of the dogwood tree. The ginkgo tree also has half the sum of the ages of the dogwood tree and both of the blue spruces. Write and solve an equation to find the ages of the ginkgo and dogwood trees. So I'm going to say let G equal the age, oops, sorry, can't spell, of the ginkgo tree. Let D equal the age of the blue spruce. Okay, and we know that there are 2 blue spruce, so and each one of those blue spruce are 8 years old, so that's 16. So let's look here. It says the ginkgo tree is G equals 2 years less than, so minus 2. 3 times the age of the dogwood, so 3D. Then it says in another one that the ginkgo tree is also half the sum of the dogwood and both the blue spruce. We just said blue spruce was 16. So they are equal to each other because they're both ginkgo trees. So their ages are the same. Okay. So let's get rid of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides of the equal sign by 2. So I get 6D minus 2 equals, cancels, D plus 16. Subtract the D. Get 5d minus 2 equals 16. Add, did I mess up somewhere? Oh, I did. This should be 4. Oh, that's horrible. Sorry, guys. 4. I did what I tell my students all the time not to do. Add 4 to both sides. Get 5d equals 20. Divide by 5 and get d equals 4. So the dogwood tree is 4 years old. Now, I'm going to take g equals 3d minus 2, and I'm going to plug that in. So 3 times 4 minus 2, that gets me 12 minus 2. So the ginkgo tree is 12 years old. Okay, next. The volume of a right pyramid is given the formula V equals 1/3 base times height, where big B is the area of the base and H is the height. Solve for H. So I'm going to get rid of my fraction first. I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. These cancel, so I get 3V equals big B, H, divide by B, and I get 3 times the volume over the area of the base is equal to the height. Then it says, find the height in inches, of a right pyramid with a volume. So it's telling us volume is 900 cubic inches, and the area of the base, so big B, is 225 inches squared. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plug in that information. So 3 times the area over the area, the volume, and then plug in the area, and that'll get us our height. So 27123 divided by 225 is equal to H. So when I plug that into my calculator, or you can do it by hand if you want, you should get 12 inches is equal to the height. Okay, over here, write and solve an equation to find the value of x so that the figures have the same area, so they're equal to each other. So this is equal to 1/2 base times height. This is equal to length times width, or base times height. I actually prefer base times height. So 1/2 times the base, which is 8, times x plus 4 equals 3 times x plus 6. So I'm going to solve this. Now, I could get rid of the fraction by multiplying everything by 2, but 2 goes into this evenly, so I don't need to do that. So 3x plus 18, let's see if I can do my correct work this time. Subtract 3x from both sides and get x plus 16 equals 18. Subtract 16 from both sides and x equals 2 units. I don't think I saw. Okay, this time we're solving for a. I want to get a by itself. So I add 4b. I get 3a equals 4b plus 12. Divide by 3, divide by 3. You can either leave it as 4b plus 12 all over 3, or split it up like I was going to do a second ago. And you can 4b over 3 plus 12 over 3, which would get us 4b over 3 plus 3. So either way, it'll still work. This one, I want to get x by itself. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides. 14 over xa. Why it's not in alphabetical, I don't know. Multiply both sides by ax. Notice how I made it alphabetical. 14 equals 28ax. I want x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 28a. Now remember that the 28 is on the bottom, not on the top. So this is going to get me 1 over 2a is equal to x. Okay, this next one says solve for x. Yeah, solve for the variable. And then make sure if you need to talk about excluded value that you do. So this one doesn't have an excluded value, we just solve. So we get 2x minus, not 40, 38. Where's my equal sign? Divide by 2, x equals negative 19. Here, multiply my distributive, so negative 5x minus 10 equals 3 minus x. I'm going to add 5x to both sides just because I like to get rid of the lower coefficient. Then I subtract 3 on both sides and I get negative 13 is equal to 4x. Divide by 4 on both sides. I get negative 13 over 4 equals x. Okay, next one. Ooh, I want to get rid of the fractions. Common denominator would be 10. Now, if you did 50, that would be totally fine also. 5 goes into 10 2 times, so I get 2x. The 10s cancel here, so I just have x plus 6. I don't want to do that. Subtract x from both sides. I get x equals 6. Okay, so this next one. Distribute, get 12x plus 2 plus 1, negative 93 equals 12x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides, get negative 96 equals 12x. Divide by 12 and get negative 8 is equal to x. Over here, first things first, x cannot equal negative 5. Why? Because x plus 5 cannot equal 0. So I'm going to multiply it this way, 7 times x minus 1. Multiply this way, 2 times x plus 5. So 7x minus 7, 2x plus 10. I subtract 2x from both sides. I get 5x minus 7 equals 10. Lots of fractions on this one today, unless I did something wrong. And divide by 5 and get x equals 17 over 5. Okay, next. Okay, x cannot equal 4 because x minus 4 cannot equal 0. So this is the same thing as being over 1, so I'm going to multiply these together. I get 3 times the quantity x minus 4 equals negative x plus 4. 3x minus 12 equals negative x plus 4. Add x to both sides. 4x minus 12 equals 4. Add 12. 4x equals 6. Oh no, I did something wrong. Or did I not? No, I'm good. 16. Divide by 4 on both sides. X equals 4. But didn't we say x cannot equal 4? So that means no solution. Okay, next. Over here. Common denominator, 15. How did I know? Because I multiplied 5 and 3 together. So 15 times the quantity x over 5 minus 15 times the quantity 2x over 3 equals 16. That goes in 3 times, so 3x. That goes in 5 times, so minus 10x equals 60. So negative 7x equals 60. So I divide by negative 7. And I get x equals negative 60 over 7. Okay, this one. Okay, we start from the inner and come out. So I'm going to multiply through here. Oh, that was horrible. Distribute here. So 5 times the quantity, 2 minus 12, plus, oh, no, not plus, minus 6x equals negative 2x plus 6. So then that's 5 times the quantity, negative 10 minus 6x equals negative 2x plus 6. So that's negative 50 minus 30x equals negative 2x plus 6. I'm going to add 30x to both sides. Get negative 50 equals 28x plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, get negative 56 is equal to 28x. Divide by 28 on both sides, and I get negative 2 is equal to x. Okay, so now we have absolute value. And remember, when you have absolute value, you have to get the absolute value by itself and then make two equations. Negative 8 plus n equals positive 16. Negative 8 plus n equals negative 16. Add 8, get n equals 24. Add 8, n equals negative 8. So my answers are negative 8 and 24. Okay, this one. Okay, I have to get the absolute value by itself first, so I need to add 3 to both sides. 2 times the quantity, or times the absolute value of x plus 7 equals negative 6. Divide by 2. Absolute value of x plus 7 equals negative 3. Absolute value cannot equal negative, so this answer is no solution. This one, divide both sides by 9. I get p over 6, absolute value of p over 6 equals 1/3. So I split it up. I get p over 6 equals 1/3. I get p over 6 equals negative 1/3. Multiply both sides by 6 and get p equals 2. And multiply by 6 and p equals negative 2. Okay, divide this by 4. Absolute value of 3 minus 2y equals 113. I make two equations. 3 minus 2y equals 13. And 3 minus 2y equals negative 13. I subtract, oh, that was a horrible 3. Negative 2y equals 10. Divide by negative 2. And get y equals negative 5. And subtract, got the 3 for some reason. So negative 2y equals negative 16. Divide by negative 2. And y equals 8. Okay, all we wanted the excluded value. So 2x minus 11 cannot equal 0. I add 11. 2x equals 11. Divide by 2. So x, cannot equal 11 over 2. And then we have x plus 19 cannot equal 0. So you subtract 19. X cannot equal negative 19. Okay, the next one, maybe if I can get it. There we go. The screen of a standard television has the width to height ratio. So width to height ratio is 4:3. It says write a proportion that can be used to find the height. So we're looking for the height. So h equals height with the width of 15 inches. So I have a width of 15 inches and a height of h. So I multiply, for h equals 3 times 15, so that's 545. I knew that. I don't know why. So h equals, and this time I don't want to just simplify my fraction. I actually want to divide it out. 11.25. Oh, does it say inches? Yeah, inches. So that's how high, or what the height is.